What's up everybody, it's Jake Gordon again. Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be if you're really starting out and you're really struggling. A lot of people talk about general stores, a lot of people talk about niche stores, a lot of people talk about one product stores. What one is best for you and what one should you do if you're just starting out? Now, please keep in mind, this is my personal opinion. I do think, if you watch to the end of this video, you will understand that this, is pretty much a stepping kind of stone, and it does kind of make sense. But don't get me wrong, like there's people that just go against this whole thing and they can make it work. But this is what worked for me, so just keep that in mind. It's personal, just over experience, right? So, let's talk about, the very kind of, famous kind of store that everybody starts out with. In my opinion, it should always be a general store. So, the best way I can describe, why you should start with a general store, like I always start out with a general store when I start out, and even now, my 100k stores, the 100k challenge. Sorry, if you're watching that video, link above, I'll link it there. It's just a general store, like not too many products, just testing a wide range of stuff, seeing what sticks, and then scaling the good stuff. So it's not, I'm not trying to go for the one product store, I'm not trying to go for the niche store, because, I don't know what works yet, for that challenge, so I've got to keep it super broad. But yeah, let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. I'm even going to give you guys some example of stores, to give you kind of example what I mean, because I know a lot of people won't understand what general, niche, and one kind of product store is. I know most of you guys do though. But yeah, the pros of a general store is super simple, man. Like, you can test a bunch of products and find winners fast. Like, it's super easy to test. If I just have a basic name, like for example, Inspire Uplift, it's super basic. I can test pretty much everything. If I have like a pet store and I'm going for the niche store right off the bat, I can't. If I have it like dogstore.com, I'm not really going to be able to test like a GPS tracker, right? It's going to be kind of hard. It's just kind of looks weird. Customers are going to be like, what? So I can test a bunch of products, and it's just super easy to cut products that are doing bad and just find more products that I think are winners and just chuck them in here to the test campaign and see what works. So super easy to test. You don't need to stress about making it look perfect. Like I said, that product page with whatever theme you choose. There's a few good ones that I use. I recommend Beautify 2.02, I think it is. There's a bunch of good ones as well, free ones. You don't like the products, that theme just, once they land on the landing page, like they see that page is already built out, it looks pretty much good to go. The homepage, obviously you want to make some edits, but you got to remember the customers aren't, really seeing that 90% of the times. So it's super easy. Like you can get a general store going in I could get a general store going in 5 hours, to be honest, start to finish. And it's obviously easy to make sales once you find a winner. Super easy, easy to scale as well. The cons, the conversion rate won't be the best, let's be honest. It just won't, because it's a general store, you're testing a bunch of stuff. That's pretty normal. You can definitely still make it profitable. Like I said, if you're watching my 100k challenge, I'm way over 10k in profit, net. So super easy to get it profitable for sure. Another con is someone can easily copy you, and take your piece of the pie. That's normal, man. That's exactly what I'm doing when I'm testing my general stores. I'm finding other stores, that are doing well, and I'm taking their piece of the pie. But I understand some people are going to copy me and steal a little bit of my pie. Like, it's completely normal. You have to. That's just part of the game. So just understand that when you're doing a general store, it's completely normal. So, sales can go up and down for sure. And also as well, you can't charge really the highest price. Like, if I have a one product store, like I can charge way more than you. If you're doing like that on a kind of general store, I can make it look a lot better. And there is ways you can go around that, because you can still have like a one product store like on a general store with something like gem pages, that you can make it look like a one product store. So you can, that's super advanced for a lot of guys starting out, but you can definitely do that as well. And then you can charge the top tier kind of prices, but ideally you're probably not going to be doing that in a general store. You're probably going to be, not be able to charge really as much as like a one product store, to be honest. But that's still absolutely fine as long as you've done like the profit, the profit margin, and it makes sense. You're still going to be good to go and be able to scale it up super high. So let's go over just one general store. For example, I've talked about Inspire Uplift and all that in the past, but I want to go over this store. It's called Hygo. I don't know if you guys ever remember, I've ever seen it. You can see they're doing about 100k visits a month. They're probably doing about 100 to 300k in revenue, just with those numbers. From my experience, just from having that kind of like eyeballs. The Beauty by theme, super simple. Nothing fancy about this. A bunch of random crap, let's be honest, but they're probably scaling some good stuff in this. Well, they are, because they've been around for years and years. So they're still making it work. They're drop shipping. Like, there's nothing fancy about this. The only thing they've changed over the years is literally the theme, this kind of thing. But super good store that's been around for years. So it's called hygoshop.com. Check it out if you want to try and test some of these products. Super good general store. So something like that is what you want to mimic if you're starting out. Yeah, let's go over the niche store. So Niche stores, ideally you want to go into this after you find winners on a general store. So e.g., my smartwatch store, I'll link that above as well if I remember. I found these smartwatches that were doing super, super well. Guess what? I made a smartwatch store. It was called the smartwatch.co.uk. Like I said, I made a whole video on the profits and all that kind of good stuff. Super easy to do, because all you do is you take those products, you can have it like with a super strong domain, because the domain was just called Taste It, right? So then I went to the smartwatch.co.uk. I'm immediately holding authority. It's really hard for other people in a general store to kind of compete with me at that stage. I already know these products are winning. I just need to copy the similar campaigns, let it run, and it should convert, if not even better than the general store. And guess what? It did. Obviously, I could test other smartwatches in that store as well, but please keep in mind I was kind of limited to just smartwatches with a name like that. I'm not going to test, for example, dog toys. So but at that stage, you really want to go to a niche store. It makes a lot more sense. You can still have the general store. Like you should, in my opinion, if you're doing niche stores, one products, you should always still have a general store and test a lot of crap. Like always, because you never know what's going to work, and then you can go down another niche store or a one product store as well. So niche store conversion rate was super good. It just is going to be a lot better than general store. You already know the product works, so there's not really worrying about that. It's going to work because you've already tested it at a general store, and you can easily scale to 100k months. Super easy to do. Cons, you can still be copied pretty easily. Like a general store or even another store can still pretty much copy you and steal your piece of the pie. But like I said, that's okay. And if you start with a store and don't come from a general store, if you start with like a pet store, for example, and you don't know pet products, because I've barely sold any pet products in my end of my life, and if I have, like, they've probably not been profitable. So if I just went for a pet store right off the bat, and that doesn't work for me. Like I said, I know people that do pet stores and it works for them, but for me, it just didn't work for me. So it's a lot time consuming if I go for the domain, all that kind of stuff, set up all the products, and it doesn't work. So I'd much rather go for a general store, chuck those pet products on there with my smartwatches, with other niches or niches, whatever you want to call it, and test that as well. So people do start with a niche store and make it work. Like I said, it is, you can still do it, but I would much recommend go for a general store, find what works, and then go for the niche store. But I know people doing niche stores right off the bat and do super well. So niche stores, general stores, you can still do them as well. I'll show you an example. Like I said, I had my smartwatch store. If you want to check that out, it's not up anymore, but the video is still there on the channel, so go and find that. But here's one. It's just called FitTech. Very, very similar to my smartwatch store. Not selling the same smartwatches, but they're pretty much selling smartwatches, activity trackers, a little bit of earphones on the side. But they're selling basic smartwatches. For example, you're not going to see a dog toy pop up on their store area. It would look weird. So they've obviously came from a general store. I'm guessing they might not have, but 99% of the time they have. Found smartwatches work for them also, and then guess what? They've made a smartwatch store, added some new smartwatches. And these guys have been running for a while, man. These guys were running when I was running my smartwatch store, and that was like way at the start of the year. So, if they were running before, which I guess they were, probably been running for over a year now. So super, obviously good store. It's obviously making money. But yeah, another example of a good niche store probably came from a general store. So super, super good store to see. And, they're obviously still doing well because they're still here. So that's an example of a niche store. One product store, kind of last store, kind of like, super advanced if you do it right. The pros, you can charge the highest price. Like we said about the general store, you can't really charge the highest price, but with a one product store, you can definitely charge top dollar and get the best margins. Conversion rate will obviously be the highest. You're just sending traffic to this one product. There's no wasted ad spend. Okay, it's just all going to this one product. You're probably filtering by negative keywords. Super easy to be super profitable. Okay, scale to the moon. It's hard to be copied because it's a lot time consuming. A lot of beginners out there, really just won't want to mess with you. Just with the landing page you probably have. And you already know it's working, hopefully. So like I said, this is really like, you do not want to start with a one product store. Like I said, I know a lot of people teaching one product stores right off the bat. A lot of people of them are failing because it's not working. A lot of people are giving up because it's a lot time consuming. For example, there's another video, I'll link that above as well. It's my egg seat. I had an egg seat, just an egg seat cushion, gel seat cushion. That came from a general store, and guess what? It was doing super well. I wanted to turn it into a one product store. I used a software called Gem Pages. I built a landing page. Took a lot of time, by the way, but it was worth it because I already knew it was working in a general store. I could charge more. I introduced bundle upsells, and it just, it was pretty good. It wasn't like a 100k store because there was not enough searches on Google, but it was super easy to scale, and like I could charge top dollar, like above everybody else because it looked super good. Nobody could really compete with me. But I didn't guess that product from the start. Like I would never have guessed that product from the start. It was just an egg seat, right? No way would I have guessed that. Had it in a general store, it was starting to do super well, and I was like, hang on a minute, can I take this to a one product store? and it was, you know, super well. So it all works in like a clockwork way. I'm not guessing at this point. The cons, like I said, just what I mentioned, it's a complete waste of time for beginners. You know, if you do this off the bat, you're going to have to be super lucky, but you're going to waste a lot of time, and for 99% of you, you're just going to give up. So go for the general store or a niche store off the bat, because it takes a lot of time to build these landing pages. Like I said, you know, I use gem pages. I've got an example here. They're not using gem pages, but it's the same kind of thing, man. Like, all they have is this kind of product. They've got some other stuff as well, but you can see how much, like, if I come on here with like just a general store, I can't really have this kind of stuff. Like, I'm not going to be able to compete with this kind of, you know, beautiful optimization. They've also got their own logo, it looks like, on it as well, so they're going even further. You can see this page looks night and day difference for, you know, if we just look on the Hygo shop, you know, we've all seen this theme, the debut with a theme. Like I said, this theme still works, but, you know, look how crap this looks compared to, you know, something like this, man. This is insane. You know, my egg seat was a little bit different, but it was the same kind of style, right? It was just this. And you can see how much easier this will convert. But like I said, you know, these guys probably test this at a general store. I found that it was working. There was another one as well. It was called, it's a blender, like blindjet.com. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. You know, they're just doing the blend gen thing. They're charging way more than what I can sell them in a general store, but they're super making a lot of money, man. And all they've done is just stamp their logo on that product and scaling it to the moon. I think they're still scaling it now. I still see their Facebook ads. But yeah, that's an example, you know, my opinion on the best type of, you know, Shopify stores. Each one of you guys are going to be all at different kind of levels. Most of you guys are going to be up here. Do a general store, guys. Like, I'm still doing general stores today, still finding stuff that works, and then I'm moving down here, and hopefully with the very few ones I'm moving down here. So it's all kind of like a clockwork way. You should not come into this with, like, you know, one product store off the bat. Most of you guys should go for a general store. But like I said, it's just my opinion. You know, this is just what I do. This is just what I teach. You know, like I said, anybody can change the way it is. Some people are totally opposite this, and that's absolutely cool. You know, it's just my personal, you know, perspective. But you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are having a good time during your Q4. I hope most of you guys are scaling or doing stores. And, you know, I'll see you in the next video with an update.